is the Exhausted Moms podcast. I'm Kayla,
And I'm Kendall.
and we are two childhood best friends who are extremely exhausted moms.
Yes, it is super late and past our bedtime.
Yes, so this is probably going to be a little unhinged, so apologize.
But all the mamas out there understand that sometimes this is the only time we get without our kids in the way. So,
Absolutely, and my kids have been sick all week, and I am finally getting it, so this should be fun.
yeah.
Well, it's been a hard week coming back from being up in Connecticut visiting everybody. It, I don't know how every time we visit, I kind of feel different. Um, I don't know like how to describe it. If anyone who's ever moved away from home very far understands that when you go back to the place you grew up in, it just feels different. I
Yeah, I can imagine.
I like felt like I don't belong there anymore. It was weird.
Well, you guys have been gone for what, how many years now?
6. It'll be 6 in August, yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's weird. Like that's the only way I could describe it is it's I don't know, it's just strange. And then I feel bad because we don't have a lot of time to visit everyone and we don't really go up often because it's a long drive and my husband's stubborn and wants to drive. I'm not doing that ever again, I swear.
Yeah, not with the two kids, especially.
That was a
That's a lot.
nightmare. So my youngest is absolutely not a fan of staying still at all. That boy was not happy at all. That was very rough. But because everyone's been sick and everything, I have not been able to unpack a lot. But I feel like right when you get home, it's hard to unpack anyway. So, I mean, how long does it take usually for you? I feel like sometimes I'm living out of my suitcase for a while.
Definitely. I mean, I barely ever go anywhere, but the times that I have, my suitcase is basically staying there until I just need the stuff out of it, and I just slowly unpack it as I need it. Like, oh, I'll wear that shirt today. Take it out the
That's
suitcase.
that is what I'm doing with my stuff, but I unpacked my son's stuff yesterday because I was like, okay, I kind of need this. I kind of need this for you. I'm gonna
Yeah,
probably end up doing my daughter's tomorrow. Mine will probably stay there until I use everything.
right. I mean, it's just like you get home, especially from a long drive, like you don't want to deal with it. You just want
No.
in bed and to chill out and get back into the groove of things and not unpack and be sad about the fact that you have to unpack and you're not on your trip anymore.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between visiting family and
Yeah,
vacation.
there's a difference.
This was not vacation.
Definitely not.
No, no, no. My type of vacation is me on the beach with a drink in my hand. That is my vacation.
Absolutely.
So you were telling me a little bit. There's some true crime story going on. What's going on?
Yeah, so have you ever heard of I can't talk today, the Gilgo Beach Killer?
No, and I have no idea where that beach is.
So it's in Long Island,
Oh
and
gosh.
these murders happened like 30 years ago.
Oh.
So they had ended up, I think it was last summer, they finally charged the suspect, Rex Harriman, or however you say his name, Harriman, because they like staked out his place and his daughter threw away an energy drink can and
Hmm.
they got it and they got the DNA. So that was able to link him to, I think, 3 of the murders because they were all buried like in this beach area. So he was already on trial for that last
Wow.
year. And then it just came out yesterday that they were able to tie him and charge him with 2 more murders.
Oh gosh.
So that's now he's being charged with 6, and they think
Wow.
that he killed more.
Oh my gosh.
Um, but again, this has been 30 years in the making, like this investigation. So for these families to finally be getting
Yeah.
some sort of closure and justice.
Oh.
But the way that they tied him to these two other victims, like recently, was because they found some sort of planning document that he used. So I'm trying to find in the article. It said it was a laptop. They took his laptop and it had a Microsoft Word document titled HK 2002 to '04. It was created in 2000 and was edited numerous times throughout 2002. Included sections listed for problems, supplies, dump site,
Oh my gosh.
and TRG. They believe that that meant target.
I was gonna say
Um,
was.
yeah, so like it says under supplies, it listed things like rope, tarps, tape, gloves, cleaning
Oh my
supplies.
gosh.
Dump site, it listed locations where evidence was going to be disposed. And under things like the target, it says like small is good, petite women. He
Mm.
was known for going after sex workers or people that he assumed were sex workers because unfortunately that's the type of victim that there might not be as many people missing them or looking for them because of their lifestyle, which is horrible because they still deserve justice.
Of course. Yeah.
Um,
That's. Gosh.
yeah, so they were able to find this document and tie him to these other murders, which he had been suspected of, but there were things like body prep that he put in there, talking about washing the body inside and out, removing identifying markings like tattoos.
So he's a type A serial killer.
Yeah, he is like worst of the worst.
That's
He's
the.
disgusting.
That's so.
Yeah,
Oh, this is why I don't listen to this stuff and watch this stuff, and it just gives me the ick and freaks me out. And now I'm
yeah,
not gonna be able to sleep.
sorry. I just thought it was incredible because, like I said, this is such an old
Yeah,
case finally coming to a head, and just the things that they're finding and that they're able to link him to these murders. Like,
yeah.
it's been incredible work by the detectives that were involved because these were really gruesome crimes. Like, these people were mutilated, dismembered.
Okay, okay. No, no, no.
So
I don't want to know.
for them to be able to figure all this out, find their victim, even though they couldn't get him until years later. Like, they have him now. He's only 60, so he can serve a good amount of time in jail before he dies, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ugh.
that's probably the most interesting true crime news I've seen recently.
Interesting to you. That just making my stomach twist and turn. Oh,
Yeah. Well, his
those
crime, yeah.
poor people.
But the fact that they're finally going to get their
Yeah.
justice, like, that makes me happy that
Yeah.
he didn't get away with it.
I don't know how you could listen to this stuff and watch this stuff before you go to bed. I cannot.
I don't know. I think it's like my personality that just loves stuff to do with
Murder?
investigating. No, not even murder, but like solving a mystery.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I do well in my job because obviously I'm a
Yeah.
claims adjuster. I have to investigate
Yeah.
accidents or thefts or fires or whatever. That kind of stuff always interests me. So when I'm watching or listening, my brain is kind of doing these investigative steps on its own, and then I get to see if I'm right or not at the end, except if it's a cold case. But even with that, I form my theories, and there's certain
Yeah.
cases that just stick with you, and this was one of them. So to see this pop up in the news this week was, I don't want to say exciting because it's a horrible thing that happened, but exciting
Absolutely.
because he's getting
More.
charged with what he
Yeah.
should be charged with. Yeah.
I think you watched a little bit too much Mary Kate and Ashley mysteries back in the day.
Solving a crime by dinner time. You know it.
Oh my gosh. No, I think investigating and stuff is so interesting too. I think I'm just a big baby when it comes to that kind of stuff because I don't know, it freaks me out.
As
It's
it should. I mean, I'm just a weirdo, I guess, for liking it, but not
Oh,
liking it in the sense that I'm like, oh my God, this is entertainment. Like
yeah.
a lot of the stuff I listen to is cold cases, and you never know when you're gonna hear something that you might know something that can help. Like I doubt that it'll happen, but I've listened to plenty of podcasts, and there's been times where it's been somebody who was listening that was able to send in this little piece of
Wow.
information that moved the case forward or solved the case.
I mean, that is remarkable. And
Yeah.
I mean, with all the technology nowadays and being able to unite people, it that
Mhm.
is that is that is cool. That is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch gears because I don't want to think about murder.
Go for it.
So, I have been doing a lot of thinking lately about siblings because obviously I have two kids and I'm the older sister of me and my brother. And my brother and I don't have the best
Mhm.
relationship ever. So I've been just trying to make sure that my kids have a good relationship because I've seen, okay, take for example my husband and his sister. They have such a great friendship now where
Mhm.
she can call him. I mean, as you guys all met her last week, she and I are closer than him and her now, but she they still have a good relationship. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to create a close bond with your kids for each the I can't even talk tonight for those two, not like close with me, I'd
Yeah.
close with each other. Because my brother and I were
I
pit
think,
against each other a lot.
yeah, I think it really, a lot of it depends on the kids themselves and their
Yeah,
personalities. But it also depends on the parents because if you're like favoring one child or one child's getting treated differently than the other, like that's gonna cause resentment between them,
right.
whether you intend that or not. Like it's not that child's fault that they're getting more attention or whatever the
Mm,
case may be, but their sibling is gonna be mad at
resent
them
that.
for it, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think just important to like make sure, because sometimes we don't even notice that we're doing it.
right.
Sometimes I've noticed with my husband, now that my daughter is becoming more of a little demon child, he definitely punishes her more, but he used to yell at my son for the smallest thing, but then she could get away with murder. And it started to make my son really upset because he was like,
Yeah,
you never yell at her for doing this, this, and that. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, you don't.
yeah,
But he didn't realize he was doing it. And I
right.
think a lot of the time, too, with the father and daughter relationship or the mother and son relationship, we tend to live up to those stereotypes of daddy's girl and
Yeah.
mommy's boy, where we're super sensitive about our sons and our husbands are sensitive about our daughters or whatever. Not us specifically, but
I
just
was gonna
in
say,
general.
I would say
Yeah.
definitely not me because
No.
I'm hyper focused. I think the problem is when you have childhood trauma, you
Mhm.
try to overcompensate and you
Yeah.
try to, I mean, for me, I'm very much obsessed over certain things. And
Mhm.
this is one of the things it's where I want to make sure that my daughter feels that because she's the oldest daughter, whereas I'm the
Yeah.
oldest daughter in my family. So I do that as well, where I feel that sympathy for her because I understand what that's like.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome that my husband is the youngest of his family, so he can relate more with our son. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel parenting all the time is like puzzles. You got to put
Yeah.
the pieces and you're trying to figure it out. And especially if you're trying to do things differently than you were raised. So
Mhm.
I, I don't know. I think I'm so scared that one day they're going to, obviously, one day they're going to be like, oh, mom, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. And I think
Mhm.
it's unrealistic to be like, I have to be the absolute most perfect mom ever because no one's
Yeah.
perfect. But I put too much pressure on myself about absolutely everything when it comes to parenting.
Yeah, and it's hard not to, especially in the era of these Instagram moms and stuff.
Oh,
Think
yeah.
everything's perfect. And I don't know if you see that one dad all the time that's always like making the videos where he's building all this stuff or setting up extravagant movie days or whatever for the kids. It's just so much. And who, first of all, we don't have time for that. We work.
Yeah,
But
there's
it
money.
makes you feel bad that, yeah, exactly. I'm like, sometimes it just makes you feel bad that like you can't be that parent.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, like your kids don't need that parent. Yeah, it's nice to have stuff that once in a while, but they're more needing just that relationship with you and that attention from you.
yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen a mom, she does like these very extravagant bath times where she
I've
sets
seen
up,
that.
yes, it
The
has a
candles
theme.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, first of all, my kids are gonna be splashing and
Mhm.
playing
Yep.
hardcore. They don't care about all that, but I think we all, in a way, do something that's a bit extra than other parents because, in a way, it heals our inner child.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
you and I with gifts. I really think that's what it is for us. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't overbuy because I have a budget I'm supposed to stick to. But then I use girl math a lot.
Right. It's cash, so it's free.
Oh no, I'm the worst. I'm like, oh well, this was bought in October. It's free.
Yeah. That doesn't count.
Oh no, my husband now all the time, he's like, oh gosh, last Christmas, I'm like, I stayed on budget, and he's like, okay, how much girl math did you use? None, of course not.
See, my husband is just as surprised when the kids
Yes,
open their presents
yes.
as they are, because he has no
Same,
idea.
same. And I try. Okay, so last year, I'm like, okay, I know everything our daughter wants. Our son was a baby still. Like, I'm like, well, do you think
Hmm.
this is a good idea? Do you think he's like, sure, sure. And he doesn't
Yeah, right.
remember.
Instant input. Yeah.
Yeah. He does not remember. And then Christmas morning, he's like, wow, that's cool. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
I showed you a picture of it.
I literally will text my husband like, "This is the stuff I have in the cart," and like
Yes.
he'll be like, "Oh yeah, that looks good," and then he
Yes.
forgets all about it.
Yes, I do the same thing. Oh
And then
my
I'm stuck
gosh.
wrapping everything up. Like
Yes.
I'm not good at wrapping, but he wraps like a freaking baby dinosaur, so like he cannot wrap at all.
So
So
does
I end
Peter.
up doing all the wrapping, and then he like usually just sits up and keeps me company or whatever. But
So
I end up having to wrap so much freaking stuff by myself.
so Peter's not allowed to rap anymore, and here's the reason why. Not only is his rapping atrocious, but it's getting better. I will give him that. But I would say our daughter's second Christmas probably. So she was more into toys and whatever. So
Hmm.
we're rapping and he was like, I don't want to rap anymore. Can't we just give her these tomorrow? I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
Half the fun is opening the paper for them, especially when they're little.
No, but I told you before, like him and I are really bad at gift giving because the
Hmm.
second we buy it, we want to give it to each other. Well,
Yep.
he ends up, I think it was like this little people school that we got her. And he was like, this is cool. Opens the box, starts playing with it. He's like, this is cool. It's got a bell. It's got this. And I'm just like, guess we're giving her that. She wakes up, she goes, oh, what's this? I'm like, yeah.
Santa set it up for you.
No, but so I don't rap on Christmas Eve. I am very much rapping a little bit at a time,
Yeah, you're
weeks
better than
prior.
me.
You you,
I'm rapping on Christmas Eve till 3 in the morning.
yeah, no. So this was probably like a week before Christmas and she got that.
I mean, my problem though is my kids are older, so like if they see the wrapped presents anywhere, I usually hide stuff in my closet. And like they don't usually look in there, but God forbid like they see all the wrapped stuff, like they're gonna know. So I usually
Yeah.
keep it in the boxes because they don't know what's from me or what's from Santa or whatever. Like I usually
Yeah.
use different paper for Santa.
Yeah,
So
same.
like
My,
I don't know, it's easier for me to keep it in the package. This year I did wrap some of them ahead of time and like put them back into like the boxes that they
yeah.
came in, like the
That's what I
shipping
did.
boxes. But I also just have like no freaking time. So it ends up
Yeah.
just being like a last minute, like, I have to do it, so it's gonna get done.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to think about Christmas. It's June.
Yeah. No, I have my 2 summer birthday kids coming up,
Oh
so it's
yes.
the next thing.
Oh my gosh. Well, my husband's birthday comes up soon too,
Mhm.
and our wedding anniversary, and yours too.
Yep. Same. Yeah, summer's pretty busy. We're doing, because you know how a bunch of my siblings are in the summer.
Yeah.
So my mom actually decided this year, instead of doing like dinners on each person's birthday, like we're doing one big party for the 4 that are in the summer.
Nice.
So she got like a water slide and a bounce house rental, and we're
There you
doing
go.
some
That's
ice cream
cheaper.
sundaes. So like it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, that sounds like a blast.
Yeah,
Uh,
it'll be cool.
now I'm jealous that I can't be there.
I'm gonna be drunk on the bounce house because I don't work on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday because I took it off to finally pack because I'm moving in 3 weeks and I've packed like 2 boxes. So yeah.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of fun, entertainment stuff,
Hmm.
you actually, I mean, I saw this too and I forgot about it, but you brought this up about the Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift pregnancy rumors.
Hmm.
I don't know if you saw this part, but so Lady Gaga posted a video with one of Taylor's songs, and she was just, everyone's saying that she looks pregnant in this picture that came up. And she's just like, no, not pregnant. So Taylor commented and was like, let's not comment on other people's bodies. And she's been getting a lot of stuff too.
Hmm.
I mean, those outfits,
Yeah.
I don't know, she's probably like hyperventilating. That girl is running around, does a 3 hour set.
Yeah.
Taylor does. So she's probably breathing and people are taking
Yeah.
pictures. And those outfits are kind of hard to not see anything.
Exactly. Yeah,
But
they're too skin tight. Like they're
I,
gonna hug your natural form of your
yes.
body, which is not gonna be perfectly flat.
No, and I don't understand why people need to comment on that for anyone, including celebrities,
Yeah.
regular people. I mean, I see all the time. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, so and so looks pregnant," and I'm like, first of all, why do you care?
Exactly.
It's not your baby.
I mean, the rule of thumb is you don't ask a woman if she's pregnant unless you know. Like, you actually know, not just because she looks like it, because I can't tell you how many times I've been asked if I was pregnant and I'm not, and it's like, I'm chubby, chunky, whatever. I'm heavier. I get it, but like, don't ask me that.
No.
It's just so annoying. And it makes me laugh though, because at the Super Bowl with Rihanna, when everyone was like, she's pregnant. And I went on this whole rant about don't assume anything. Like, she just had a baby not too long ago. Not everyone just loses the baby weight. And then it's like reps for Rihanna confirmed she's pregnant with baby number 2. And I'm like, well,
Well, I was sitting there watching that while being pregnant, and I was like, if this girl
yeah,
is pregnant, I don't know if her OB signed off on this.
right.
And I'm sitting
It's the
there,
Super Bowl though. She probably was like,
yeah.
I'm doing it anyway.
I was sitting there eating chips and stuff, going, wow, I can't do that while pregnant.
I can't do that while not pregnant.
Exactly. Well, people were complaining about that because she wasn't like dancing and stuff. So I
Yeah.
didn't assume she was pregnant, but I did assume she was pregnant because I was like,
Yeah,
there's
and it's fine to think that in your head
yes in my
and think,
head.
oh, wait, maybe she's pregnant. But like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
you
not
don't go up to
posting
them
it.
and they be like, oh, when are you due? Because
Well,
I've had people ask me that, and I'm like, a year and a half ago. Thank you.
see, here's the thing. Now you need to come up with a funny thing to make them feel horrible.
Well, they usually feel bad when I say that because
Yeah,
then they're like, oh, my bad. Except for Walmart lady that I told you about
yeah,
because she
yeah.
beeped out of there with her freaking rolly cart. Like,
I really think you. I'm gonna come up with something funnier for you. Not at this moment because my brain is not working that well. But I'm gonna come up with something so funny that you're gonna laugh. They're gonna be like, "Wait, what?" So,
That reminds me of when I had my knee brace when I had that
oh
cyst on
gosh,
my knee in high school,
yes.
and one of our classmates asked me what happened, and she was not the most common sense having person in our school. And I told her that I was sitting on the train tracks and my leg got run over by a train. And she was like, "Oh my God, really? Like, that's so scary." And I was like, "Girl,
I would have been
I would
dead.
not have a leg. I would not have a leg. I would not just be in a brace.
I
There
don't
would
think
be
you'd
no
be
leg." And
alive.
she was just, "Oh." I'm like, how gullible can you be? Come on.
There's a lot of gullible
Oh
people
yeah.
in the world, but
I know.
that's
But I
what.
had fun telling every person a different story that asked me because I just got so fed up of explaining to people like
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you have not a good story about an injury and it's kind of embarrassing, like I tripped over my dog. Do you remember that in high
yeah.
school? Oh my gosh, I don't think it was broken. Actually, no, I fractured it. And it was a small dog, okay? This makes it even worse. I have bad ankles from cheerleading and gymnastics. Don't judge me, people. I
Yeah.
literally could sneeze and break an ankle at this moment in my life. But I was, what, like 15, 16? No, it had to have been like 16. I tripped over my dog. And I was like, I can't tell people I tripped over my dog. So I kept making up different things too.
Well, mine was because I was stupid and would try to teach myself tumbling stuff.
Yeah.
And I put my mattress on the ground and tried to do a back tuck. And
Oh,
I landed on my knees, so not
yes.
terrible, but I landed off the mattress. So like I
Uh,
landed straight down on my knees and the next like or no within a few hours there was this bubble on my knee and we
I
thought it was
remember
just
that.
going to be water on the knee
Ugh.
and we went to the doctor and they were like, "No, it's a cyst." And Steph actually was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Because our recital was 2 weeks away. And I was like, "No, no, no, I'll still dance. It'll be off, I promise." And she was like, "You better." And I remember we were in class one day and I was standing up trying to mark stuff with one leg and she was like, "Sit down." She's like, "I cannot have you be hurt and not able to dance." So, yeah, fun times.
I
I was
remember that. I
making
remember
smart
that.
choices.
Uh, I have so many injury stories, and I don't think the people want to hear them. My, my, no, I feel like when I was younger, I would seriously just walk and get hurt. Like, I don't know. I was so
Free
clumsy.
prone.
I was so clumsy as a kid. It wasn't even funny. But instead of our horror stories, I read this article yesterday and I wanted to get your take on this. So we both have a 1-year-old son. Okay.
Hmm.
So this mom makes her 1-year-old son do household chores with her.
What does he do?
He helps with the laundry. Okay.
Hmm.
He also helps her with the dishwasher. I got this on Scary Mommy if anyone really wants to read it. But I'm sitting here. Do you know how hard it is to get my son to, I don't know, stay still? Like,
Right.
let alone if I gave him laundry, that would be all over the floor and he'd be laughing.
Yeah. I feel like maybe mine would like throw the laundry into the machine, but then he would try to take it back out because he's very much in that phase of he has that little shape sorter block thing. He
Yeah.
puts them in and then he dumps them out and does it again. Like he does not want to leave it in there. So that
Right.
wouldn't work out. And I would not trust him with a dishwasher.
No, there's a
Especially
little.
with like knives and forks and stuff and glass dishes. Like, no.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking at, they have pictures. I guess it was on a TikTok. I didn't see the TikTok, I just saw the article. But she's having him press the button, which is fine. I have my son, I hold him, and I like show him how to shut the light switch off. He thinks it's hilarious. But little things. But I'm looking, and it looks like he's putting dishwasher detergent.
That's a little concerning.
But she said that they're capable of doing chores from a young age. What?
A young age, sure, like 5, not 1.
I right. So obviously I have a 3-year-old as well, and she doesn't do chores. I'm like, hey, can you throw this out for me? And you're lucky if it
Yeah,
makes it into the garbage sometimes.
right.
I
I mean,
can't.
whatever she's doing, if she wants to come over and get my kids to do chores, that's fine. She can teach them
Right,
the ways.
right. I'm trying to get my daughter to clean up after her own toys, let alone
Yeah.
I. I don't. I understand when they're, I don't know, 10, 9, 10, even maybe 8, doing their own laundry. I don't know.
Mhm.
If they're capable of doing it, then yeah, sure, do your own laundry. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
1.
Oh, right, one.
I'm just trying to picture my baby doing chores, and it's a funny thought.
Well, my son barely walks. Like he's finally
Yeah.
walking more. So I'm just picturing him like trying to pretend run because he can't run yet. Stealing something like clothes and just like laughing because he's a little menace.
Yeah. My son's favorite thing. Oops, sorry, a motorcycle just went down my street.
So,
My son's favorite thing to play with is socks and articles of clothing. He just likes to shake them. I don't know why, but like if you give that kid 2 socks, like he is sitting there bouncing up and down and shaking both of them.
oh,
And I'm like, if we were doing laundry, he would just be shaking everything. And then he'd get real mad if you took it from him.
right. That's another thing at that age. If you take the clothes away, they get mad if you take anything away at that age. I
Yeah, and the dishwasher and laundry detergent probably looks yummy too. So,
right.
like one second of turning your head and they're drinking it.
Well, I'm also wondering if this is her first child.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be doing that with 2.
No, not only that, I feel like my daughter, so I actually have a video. She loves, I probably said this before. She loves watching videos and pictures of herself as a baby. On
Mhm.
Google Photos, they have memories and it comes up, whatever. So I have a video of me doing her laundry and she's taking stuff out of the laundry basket constantly. Constantly. Oh, here, mommy, here, mommy, here, mommy. So, I mean, even her, like, I would not have been able to do that. That is crazy.
No, it would drive me nuts. And I get kind of OCD about stuff,
Yeah, me
especially
too.
with folding laundry. Like my daughter has offered to help and my son's offered to help, and I'm like, no, nope, because you're not going to fold it right, and it drives me insane. Maybe it's all the years of working in retail and having to board
Probably.
fold everything, but it just drives me nuts. I'm like, no, you're not touching it. Thank you for asking to help them. You can go help by doing X, Y, and Z somewhere else, but no, you're not touching the clothes because then I'm going to have to refold them anyway.
Yeah. I mean, in the article, it says even if it takes a bit longer or it's a bit messier, it's so important for their development and they enjoy it. Well, my baby doesn't really care right now, but my, that, again, that kid just cares about trying to climb and try to hurt himself. My wild
Yeah,
child. But my daughter is at that age now where she wants to help so much, and I try to let her help me. But like you
yeah.
said, OCD stuff, I'm like, ugh. So I have to get better about that. I know for sure I have to get better about letting her help me.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to let them start helping or observing at a young age. I just
Yeah.
wouldn't expect a 1-year-old to
No.
do that. So,
Well, their attention spans usually
like
are,
2 seconds.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Except my son, when he's fixating on something he shouldn't be, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, climbing a chair.
His thing that drives me nuts is we have one of those headboards that has like the little shelf behind it or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So there's always stuff up there. There's like water bottles and whatnot up there, and little, I think there's like a picture frame and like a nesting doll that my sister made us, little stuff like that. And he goes like insane trying to grab everything off of there and throw it. I don't know why. Something about that shelf, but he's always like lunging for it. Like when he's laying in my bed, he'll lunge forward and start grabbing everything. And then there's this stupid gap behind our bed, so he like
Oh
throws
no.
everything behind the bed, and I'm having to dig it out, and it's so frustrating. But it's like, why are you so focused on grabbing that?
I'm
Like, it's
telling
not
you,
anything special.
they fixate on things. I
Yeah.
see it constantly. We just had to move one of our lamps behind the couch and we've been moving furniture around and everything because he fixates on things.
Yeah.
I think he fixates on things more than my daughter ever did. My daughter didn't care. She was just chilling.
Yeah. No, with the boys, it's like, how can I be a menace today?
No, I'm telling you, my kid is the Hulk. He broke. Oh, I didn't even tell you this. So he broke. I have. I can't even think right now. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
What is it called? Like a table side, like by your bed, your bedside
Like
table,
nightstand.
nightstand. Yes. So I put my nightstand in his room when I was breastfeeding. I had the breast pump, all that stuff. I still have it in there. Whatever. He broke the drawer out of nowhere, just pulls it and yanks it, and it just snapped. I was like, oh, nice. Okay, guess I'm not
Guess
getting
we
this
don't need
back.
that anymore.
Well, I guess I'm not getting that back.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Literally. But this kid is always breaking everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh. It, it's it's boys. I'm definitely.
Yeah, my older son, when he was probably 4 or 5, he always played with action figures, like the superhero ones.
Yeah.
And almost every single one would be broken in minutes because he would smack them together when he was making
Oh
them fight.
no.
Like not just normal like boom boom like hitting each other a little bit. He would smash them together so hard and like throw them around so violently. I don't know what these intense battles they were having, but they would be broken all the time, and then he'd be crying and be like, Mommy, Captain America's head fell off and Spider-Man's leg fell off, and I'm like, oh well, like I'm not buying you another one until you learn how to tone it down a little bit.
They got
Like
hurt fighting crime.
violent. But like, why is Captain America fighting Spider-Man? Aren't they supposed to work together?
You're right. Yeah, they are.
And then he got the wrestling ring
Oh no.
that was last year, so he's toned it
Oh
down a little bit.
yeah,
But that was like the thing he chose with his car accident money from hurting his neck in the car accident. He chose the wrestling thing, and it's like the ring, and it has a kick out thing, and it makes noises, and he was like smacking the crap out of it with the wrestlers, and I'm like, okay, at least that makes more sense. But I'm like, you're gonna break that, and he tones it down now because he knows from experience how much crap he's broken
yeah.
from being too core with the fighting.
Yeah. I mean, my brother was always breaking stuff growing up, so I'm kind of expecting it.
My brother was just breaking bones. He was just getting hurt. You remember when he got hit by the truck and I was sleeping over your house after, and we kept the
Yes.
ringer on loud, and
Yeah.
like, and Jenna, shout out to Jenna, kept texting you for updates, and you were just like, Jenna, stop, we're trying to wait for her mom. And she was just worried about my brother, but we were like just so frustrated trying to wait for my mom to text, but also sleep. And I mean, he's fine. This was a long time ago, but it was scary when it happened because
Yeah.
we were working at Woodmonte, right, with my cousin. I think when we got the news, when we
Okay.
worked at the popcorn stand.
Okay, Kendall. I don't think you understand how this mental block in my brain
But
works.
that wasn't that long ago. That was in high school.
Okay,
So
I remember bits and pieces. I remember his accident. I don't remember. Okay, never mind. I'm starting to remember the
we were
popcorn.
working, yeah, we used to work at my cousin Mita's popcorn cotton candy,
Yes.
and that's where we got the news. And then I
Yes.
went home with you because obviously my mom was at the hospital, and yeah, my brother got hit by a truck and broke his shoulder blade.
Yeah, I remember that now. No, so the way my brain works is you have to seriously jog my memory because I won't remember things.
Can't do a picture.
Yeah, draw me a picture. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, mine's the opposite, and I
You remember?
remember too much.
You remember the
Long term
outfit?
wise.
Yes, because you remember outfits people were wearing. You're like, oh,
Hmm.
do you remember this outfit? And I'm like, girl, that was
Yeah,
20 years ago.
I
No.
don't. I don't know why stuff like that just stays in my brain. I can replay the exact moment in my head, and it like it's a movie.
Yeah, I don't know how, but it works for us because I can't remember anything. I'm probably gonna have dementia by 40, so
Stop. I feel like now I don't remember like it's more short term stuff though. Like if you tell me to go grab something at the store and there's like a list of all these things, I'll forget the one thing that you initially asked me to go for because I'm just not focused.
yeah.
But I can remember some joke you told to somebody and what shirt you're wearing in
But that's
kindergarten.
but that's why you can't remember anything short term because your brain is clogged with all of that
Right.
long term. It's like you need to delete some of that.
I know, I wish I could. There's plenty that I'd love to delete.
Oh my gosh. Just like song lyrics. I
Too
some
many of those.
Right. So when you're playing a song, I don't know, from the early 2000s, 90s, whatever, because we're old,
Hmm.
and then you just start singing along and you remember every single
Yeah, you
word.
haven't
I'm
heard it
like,
in like 15 years. Yeah,
and
and it just comes
again,
back to you.
I can't remember many things, but I'll remember those.
Right.
And then it will bring me back to a memory of singing it
Yeah.
somewhere. And it's crazy how our brains work, especially with music. I feel like
Yeah.
music, especially with babies and toddlers, I have music on all the time for my kids, but I do
Hmm.
nursery rhymes. And that has really helped, especially my daughter, because obviously my son just turned 1, so he's not really talking much. But my
Hmm.
daughter, her vocabulary, this girl's singing all the time, so I feel like this is my fault. She
Nothing wrong with that.
all kinds of musical instruments this girl has. Her little play band pretty much. She thinks she's a pop star. And
She is. What do you mean thinks? She is.
oh, when she gets a little older, I'm probably gonna have to put her into singing and guitar
I'm telling you
lessons.
that girl needs to be on a stage some way or somehow.
Oh yeah, my
Whether dancing, singing, acting, whatever. She
oh
needs to be
yeah.
on stage.
She my daughter, I love her so much. But she has to be the main character. She does not like being a supporting role.
Mine too. I
I know.
can tell.
Well, that's why it's interesting that they get along. Did you hear, speaking of, what my daughter said to yours when she was saying goodbye?
No.
So Peter caught it. She said, she said, goodbye, I'll miss you, keep growing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
For
what?
sure.
She's
Like keep
taller than
growing is a
you.
real thing. Like keep growing. She's already like double the height she should be.
Not only that, m-
Maybe
my
somebody said that to her at some point, and she just thought it was like a greeting or a regular thing you say to people when you're not gonna see them.
but Peter and I were like, she's like 2 times your size,
Right.
cause she's so small
Yeah,
compared to
not
anyone.
tall.
I didn't hear him. We're in the car, and he's like, "Did you hear what she said?" I'm like, "No." There's plenty of moments where she'll just say something to someone, and
Yeah.
I look at Peter, and him and I are just like, "Oh no."
What? Well, when they got in their little like
Oh,
30-second fight,
I
oh my
know.
god.
So,
And they were like yelling at each other, fingers in their faces, and we're both holding them back. Like,
so they
and
got,
5 seconds later, they're playing Barbies.
so our daughters got into a little fight. I think it was because your daughter was like going in front of her or something.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my older son was throwing the ball to them, and she kept jumping in the front to catch it and not giving yours as much of a chance.
Yeah.
And my son came in and paddled on her. So like that I think was what made her the most mad, because she doesn't like when people tell on her, because she doesn't want to get in trouble,
Yeah.
even though she acts like she doesn't care when she does. But she got really mad because he was telling on her, and then he was trying to say, "Oh, you were like pushing her out of the way," and she was like, "I wasn't pushing you." And your daughter was like, "You were pushing me out of the way. I couldn't get the ball." And they're like putting their fingers in each other's faces. And I'm just like, "Whoa!" But I was
Peter's.
proud of her for going back at my daughter, because like
Yeah.
usually no one has the courage for that.
She's like adult me, not kid me. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Peter's grandma after that was like, that was the cutest thing ever.
It was adorable. Like they just their
I'm
little squeaky voices and their little fingers wagging.
like,
Like,
and everyone's looking at us like, hey, that's you guys usually.
yep.
We're like, not for a very long time, people.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Not too funny.
Oh gosh, I just can't with them. They
Yeah.
both have big personalities and we're in trouble.
Right. But it was so nice to see them, because last time you guys came up, like your daughter was still kind of young to
Yeah,
understand friends.
she was
So like
18
she,
months.
yeah, like she didn't really know about, oh, I'm gonna go play with my friend. My daughter was like confused. Why isn't she over here playing with me? She was like, playing with her own toy. And which is completely normal for that age. But this time, now that they were both old enough, and like she was just so excited. And when she came up and hugged me, I was like, oh my God. She was so affectionate this time, and I could have cried. I mean, I did cry plenty when you left, but just seeing their like actual friendship
Yeah,
in person
it
was
was cute.
super special.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my son was bullying your son, stealing Miss Rachel away.
That's okay. Mine just sat there and took it, because that's how he is. He's just like, okay, yeah.
I was like, no.
Occasionally he'll get frustrated and fight back if I take the sock from him that he's shaking, but he normally just kind of lets people.
Oh. Well, that's because he has two older siblings.
Yeah, so he's used to it, but
Well, whereas both of my kids, well, he's starting to fight back now. So my
yeah.
daughter will like grab something. She's like, I'm playing with that. And I'm like, no, he was playing with it. And he's getting all mad. And he's like,
Hmm.
he like pulls her hair. I'm like, you gotta stop that.
Yeah,
No, I
mine
don't
does
know.
that too, but I think he doesn't do it to be mean. Like he just like, oh, this is something I can grab. Like
Yeah.
he will start like yelling. He'll be like, rah, 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 rah,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
snap his hand on something, and I'm like, oh, tell him why you mad.
Yeah.
Tell him.
I think baby talk is the funniest thing ever
Hilarious.
because
Like they're having a whole
yeah.
conversation, and you're like, "Yep, Like I understood 3 of those words, but go
Well, mine, it's none of those words yet. I'm like, what are you saying? He sometimes gets into it. I'm like, okay, he's telling somebody off. I'm like, tell him why you're mad. What's going on? It's very interesting. Well,
Yeah, definitely.
I, I feel very delusional right now, so I think we should end it.
Agreed.
Sorry if this wasn't like the best. I am definitely getting sick and it's very late.
Yeah, and it's been quite a week, so we didn't have our
Yeah.
normal like mental capacity to plan everything and whatnot. So
No. So if you still like us. Oh, I did want to mention that I did create a Facebook group so that everyone's not afraid to talk in the public page because I think people are getting a little shy. So let's keep the discussions going, and it's Exhausted Moms podcast group on Facebook. And of course, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Exhausted Moms Podcast. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week, and hopefully we'll be more awake.
Yes.
So,
All right. Good
bye.
night, good morning, whatever time you're listening to this, but good night for us.
Good day, good night,
Good
good
day,
morrow.
good night, good tomorrow.
Oh no, we need to go. Goodbye.
Bye.